to the series I was hoping to the elder gods I would be able to continue. And on December 6th at the Game Awards, Ed Boon came out on stage and took me by the balls and captivated me like he always does. Of course, this is after trolling the planet in typical eyebrows fashion. Boon, dog, you can't crush my soul and then make my boner tower over cityscapes like the beast that it is, all in the same 3 minutes. My heart can't handle it.
Holy shit, it's called Mortal Kombat 11!
So anyway, I spent some time with the announcement trailer of Mortal Kombat 11, as it holds many secrets as to what I think the final game is going to bring forward. And we're going to see probably a lot of that at the full reveal this January. Coupled with the press release and some foreign leaks, there is a lot of combat to uncover here, so let's stop fucking around and let's get crazy. Guys, my name's Adam Ronan, and this is everything that you need to know about Mortal Kombat 11 so far. So let's start and break down some of these visuals and some points about the way the game is going to look. Obviously, this trailer is visually appealing because it's of course a pre-rendered cinematic. But what's more enticing is that this is probably pretty damn close to the final visual fidelity of the actual game. Let's break that down. The first thing here, of course, is the official trailer description for Mortal Kombat 11 on YouTube that says, quote, "The new graphics engine showcasing every skull-shattering, eye-popping moment brings you so close to the fight you can feel it," end quote. Now, this is indicative to a full switch over to Unreal Engine 4. Previously, NRS has been on a heavily modified version of Unreal 3 that was all the way through their last title, Injustice 2. It has been heavily speculated, though, however, that they would finally make their switch over to Unreal Engine 4, and this of course implies it further. However, there is further confirmation. Something that snuck up and punched nerds in the nuts was the fact that yes, MK11 is indeed coming to the Nintendo Switch. This came from the left field and surprised everyone, including myself. Now, something to consider here though, however, is this is made possible because of a move over to Unreal Engine 4, which has a massive compatibility for developing for Nintendo's hit console, the Switch. Now, Unreal Engine 3 did not have that compatibility, so this all but confirms the move to Unreal Engine 4, in my opinion. Now, we know what kind of amazing visuals UE4 can produce. The engine is a powerhouse capable of near photorealism. Another thing that makes me think that this, quote, CG trailer is pretty close to accuracy of the final product is this tweet from Danish Sayed, who is a senior UI artist at NRS. He says in his tweet, quote, "Here's the thing about that MK11 trailer. You guys are going to be shocked at how accurate it is, both in terms of visuals and gameplay. The game looks unbelievable, and nearly every move you see in the trailer is a real move from the game," end quote. That's pretty damn exciting. Now, of course, if NRS managed to nail down some fixes with some of their bizarre animation choices that they've been criticized for pretty heavily in the past, I think we're going to have a monster of a title here, folks. I mean, take a look at the screenshots that were released the same night as the announcements. These screenshots have been confirmed to be from an early build of the game, but if this is early, holy shit biscuits. So sticking with the visual aesthetics here, let's gush for a minute about the character design and the stage design that we see here. The first thing that of course grabbed me, just like it probably grabbed you, was Scorpion's new design for his, what I am assuming is default skin for the game. The color palette is what's really interesting to me here, with the silver armor mixed with traditional yellow tunic, gold mask, and black cloth, with the addition of some red splashed in here for some of his accent colors that are a first really for the character. The silver armor pieces were an interesting decision too, and it actually heavily reminded me of his monster iteration from Mortal Kombat Deception. Really cool stuff. But of course, we know this isn't his only look, but we'll get back to that here in a second. Of course, Scorpion isn't the only combatant on screen. Kicking his ass is the Thunder God Raiden, sporting his Dark Raiden digs from the end of MKX. This design is pretty close to the last time we saw it, but of course with some added changes and some further details. Most notably is the red lightning, which I think is bonkers appealing in terms of giving the game a much needed color splash that the series was lacking in MKX. I'm loving how much things are popping here. Now, before we start talking about what is the reveal of the second Scorpion, I want to call out Shang Tsung's Courtyard here, which is the stage that they're fighting on. See, to me, the nostalgia of Mortal Kombat really stands tall is from the stages and environments from the first two games. I really loved seeing reimagined versions of some of these stages back in MK9 when they rebooted the series. As soon as this popped up on screen when the trailer loaded with the dead and rotting monks and then the corpse of one of Shang Tsung's guards, I flipped my shit. I couldn't be more excited to see this stage all dilapidated, run down, and straight fucked. The implications of the story that lie just in this location are endless. Why are we back? What takes us back here in the game? It's really just incredible imagery to me. I just hope we see several other classic stages in the mix. Would it really kill them to bust out the Combat Tomb or the Warrior Shrine? We haven't seen refreshed versions of these stages ever since they first appeared in the games Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. Christ. But then, of course, to finish off just this quick discussion about the visuals, we can't forget about that twist ending. After Raiden brutally finishes off Scorpion, another motherfucking Scorpion comes into play, and you, me, your little sister Sally McFuckface have seen this badass before. You notice immediately his tunic and outfit from Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3/MK4, but his goddamn mask is from MK2. That, my friends, is by design, which brings us to our next component of discussion: gameplay and features. So the thing that needs to be said here first and foremost is this game is going to take customization of a fighting game to a whole new level. Now, when Injustice 2 dropped and the gear system came into play, I said from day one there's no way that they couldn't bring something like this into the next MK. You just couldn't go that far and then step back from it in their next title. It just wasn't going to happen. And it looks like they're, of course, going to be bringing it back in new and hopefully incredible ways. The official press release states that Mortal Kombat 11, quote, deepens and personalizes the experience unlike ever before with an all-new custom character variation system that gives players the creative control of building customized versions of the character roster. As well as Ed Boon is also stating, quote, our custom character variation system opens up an infinite amount of options for players to personalize their favorite fucking fighters. We can't wait till January when we'll be showing off more of the game, end quote. Fueling that flame, of course, now even further is the now infamous leak from an Italian GameStop website stating that the title has a, quote, new customization system that will change both the aesthetic and the moveset of your character, end quote. Now, while likely this is not going to be an exact replica of the gear system from Injustice 2, we can safely assume that through official confirmation as well as the leak, that being able to make your ideal version of your favorite character is going to be a selling point and the main gimmick of this title. Now, I for one find this to be incredibly appealing. The gear system got a lot of hate in Injustice 2, but I think that was of course purely based on the fact that stats were affected. I believe that this will be a mostly cosmetic option, easing some of those competitive frustration in terms of stats, but that does lead us to the point of, quote, customizing the movesets. Now, how's that going to work? Now, there's a lot of speculation floating around that maybe each character is going to have let's say, a set pool of 10 or so moves that you can pick and choose, maybe 3 or 4 to make your favorite version of that character, and they have multiple variations or loadouts of said character. Now, if we couple that with the cosmetic customizations, and holy shit, that sounds extremely thrilling to me. Now, mind you, you and I are probably very different. I play fighting games on a purely casual level. I don't get super upset about shit like this in a competitive setting. So I can, however, understand why you and your brethren do find this worrisome, as it could prove to be near impossible to balance out such a system as that. However, time will tell on how this is going to play out, and of course, Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios are going to have that in mind, and they're going to treat this very carefully as to not upset their core fan base. Now, believe me, who there. But anyway, another thing to focus on here is NetherRealm Studios trailers are incredibly sneaky at showing you hints as to what is to come in the full game in their teaser trailers. Now, this is no different here. Based on Mr. Saeed's tweet from before in the video, it sounds like everything everything we see in this game is accurate to what you see in the trailer, which leads me to believe, based on this trailer, that X-rays are no longer a feature in Mortal Kombat, only to be replaced with a more character-based cinematic bludgeoning. I think this works just fine, actually, especially if every character has maybe more than one to use or pick from if you are indeed customizing movesets. I mean, the moment when Raiden takes Scorpion's hand and snaps his finger back, breaking the skin open and shit, that's way more wince-inducing than any X-ray ever had. That's my opinion. I'm just saying there. Another thing heavily showcased in this fight was the addition of weaponry. The first thing to note, very early on in the fight in the trailer, Raiden grabbing the Naginata and stabbing Scorpion through the chest in what should have been a near fatal move, or a completely fatal move rather. This is a definite indicator of stage interactables. They've teased this before, especially in the MKX trailer when Scorpion breaks off the branch and hits Sub-Zero in the face. Again, playing out here, pulling out the weapon out of the ground, stabbing him, that's a stage interactable for fucking sure. The other thing to note, though, here is there's a hell of a lot of weapon-based fighting in their normal back and forth. Raiden, of course, summons his staff for a move, and Scorpion's using his katanas back and forth, which, begs the question, could each fighter have movesets based around the weapon that they each have? I think that's entirely likely. Or, of course, they just play into each character's normals in just terms of the animation, whipping out a sword here and there. It's possible, too, but they were showcased pretty heavily, leading me thinking that they're absolutely going to play a part. Now, especially if we think back to the GameStop Italy link, what they had to say about the, quote, new gore tech system that's being implemented. Now, I think this is just simply a more detailed gore system in place that would take place with the anatomy, because they're on Unreal Engine 4. They have the chance to make use of these new visual fidelities, so, why not make use of some of that with some weapons and slice those bodies to shit, is all I'm saying there. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Weapons are cool, variations, customizing, that's all fine. But how will this play online? What will tournaments be like? How can I beat Sonic Fox? Well, I doubt you can. But based on GameStop Italy's leaks, they are taking esports scene very seriously with this game, with, quote, very strong online component oriented towards the esports scene. Customization systems, daily news, constantly updating rewards, and improved matchmaking. Now, none of this is surprising to me. You have to cater to this market to be relevant, especially in 2018. With them doing a beta in March and really taking this seriously, I have a feeling you're going to be pleasantly surprised if you are a competitive player. But, of course, there are going to be fears, because if we look back at a track record with Injustice 2, you're probably sitting there thinking, okay, we're getting gear back from Injustice 2, but what about those pesky loot boxes? Now, of course, that's a valid concern, but let's talk about this and shed some light on it. The GameStop Italy leak suggests a few things that I think tells us all we really need to know, assuming that the wording can be trusted. Of course, this is probably loosely translated, but I think that we're on a good path here. One section regarding the combat pack states that, quote, the premium edition includes 6 extra characters and 6 new battle passes. Now, there seems to be a lot of speculation online. I've watched a lot of videos kind of judging what everyone's thinking. A lot of people are thinking, no one knows what a battle pass is, everyone's confused by that. But let me tell you, the explanation is right under your noses. First, you have to consider what state of affairs loot boxes are currently in gaming of 2018 going into 2019. With so much heat on them and legislation popping up all around the world, it's just simply not prudent to put NRG boxes that can be seen as gambling by some places and some folks, and put that in a new game. It's just bad press and bad business. So I fully believe that NRS is going to bypass that route, and they're going to go in a more transparent route with their gear/loot system, in the same way that Fortnite does, and in the same way that Call of Duty Black Ops had copied Fortnite to do. I think that NRS is going to do, and that's exactly what you're thinking. If we look at Fortnite, they have what is called a battle pass. See the naming convention there? With Fortnite, you get battle passes, which, if you don't play or you're uninitiated, is a multi-tiered unlock system where every time you level up, you unlock something. And sometimes that's cosmetic, sometimes it's something else, but you get a very clear and transparent path at what you are unlocking as you level up. I am thinking that Mortal Kombat is going to adopt this same mechanic. I'm suggesting here that Mortal Kombat 11 is going to come with a battle pass for every character. Say, for example, you're playing Scorpion. You start playing, you start leveling him up. You see his battle pass on whatever menu screen that would exist in, and you would see that, like, at level 22, you unlock his MK2 mask, or at level 25, his MK3 tunic, etc., so on and so forth. This, of course, mitigates the issue of loot boxes and random drops and frustrations where you're grinding for hours and hours and hours for something that may never drop. And, of course, you can see right from the get-go what you unlock and at what level. Colors and shaders, gear, moves, etc. That's how I believe this is going to play out. Now, whether or not these battle passes will be behind a separate microtransaction and paywall, we can't really say for sure. But given the implication of 6 battle passes being included in the premium edition with 6 extra characters, I think that's a possibility that you may need to fork up either in-game currency or buy that in-game currency with actual currency to unlock your full battle pass per character. Just like in Fortnite, where they have their silver level battle pass, where it's not quite as in-depth, but you can pay $10 a fucking season to get the gold level battle pass, where every tier you unlock something different. I think that's what we're going to see here. So I want you to consider that. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But let's get on to something that I think is a little bit more exciting, because now I have been playing Mortal Kombat since 1992, and the reasons I love it so much and have it tattooed on my body is wholly in part due to the characters and the story. Some players play for esports and competition, and then there are those of us that play to see what the next chapter in the tale brings. With this trailer showing off 2 Scorpions, I think the meaning is twofold here. One, of course, is to show that, hey, look, you can make Scorpion all kinds of dope with classic gear and shit like that. But I also think this is meant to showcase what timelines are merging. Now, I don't need to tell you that timeline manipulation has been a factor in the story ever since MK9, but it's all but spelled out for you here with the 2 Scorpions and then the teaser of the mysterious woman in the hourglass. Who is this chick? Well, the press release states that, quote, the official Mortal Kombat 11 announced trailer sets the stage for an epic time-bending story, and, quote, a tease of a new character who's at the center of Mortal Kombat 11's story. Well, so she's going to be some hot shit. Who is she? Some think that she's the mysterious dream woman from Jade's ending in MK9. Some think that she's a brand new character. Some think that she's an elder goddess. I think that she's all 3, because after all, the Dream Woman was never really a character to begin with, so why wouldn't she be new anyway by finally being fleshed out? And the whole appearance of her just screams elder god, elder goddess to me. Like someone's up there super sick of Raiden's shit and is merging timelines to right all of Raiden's wrongs. This is arguably one of the most exciting things to me. MK never ceases to captivate me with its lore and stuff like that. So there's this new chick, but what of the rest of the roster? It's all, of course, speculating, but we do know that our boy Shao Kahn is back, and boy is he full of mystery. Because we have 2 sides to the Kahn coin here. One side, we see him teased at the end of the trailer looking regal as fuck, but also very reptilian? What's going on with your arm there, homeboy? For one thing, I think this could mean we may see Onaga back in action, and maybe instead of Reptile playing host, we see maybe it is now Shao Kahn that is merging into the Dragon King this time around. Not quite sure how that will play out story-wise, or if he will even fit in the narrative at all, since he's just a pre-order character. But we, of course, do have the other side of the Kahn coin, as by the render that is leaked by GameStop Italy, where he looks much more true to form, and frankly, if I may say, badass as fuck. Completely different motifs going on here. Could be indicative of 2 things. Either this is a skin, or this is Kahn with gear on. Or both. I don't know, but I love it. But for real, what's with that arm? There's either some Dragon King nonsense afoot, or Kahn has some serious eczema issues. Go see a doctor, buddy. Anyway, finally, the last thing that I want to talk about today is, of course, guest characters. You know they're coming. I know they're coming. Little Jimmy Two Shoes Butterfuck knows they're coming. In any of these dweebs on Reddit, it's all that they can post about. Michael Myers this, Pennywise that. Sure, those are, of course, plausible options, given the track record of NRS, but how about a factual one? on a Reddit AMA that took place just recently, Todd McFarlane let it slip that Spawn is finally coming to Mortal Kombat. This is long overdue in my opinion, and are probably just what I assume the first of no less than 4 guest characters. I think Spawn's super cool. I dug him in Soul Calibur. This will be a fun addition, but I want to know. This is really the least important thing. But who do you think is going to be real Mortal Kombat 11 guest character coming out? Sound off below in the comments. Guys, that is currently almost every piece of Mortal Kombat 11 information and rumors and speculation that you can find condensed into one amazing R24 video. You love it, don't you? I bet you're new to the channel because you're probably searching through, listening to all different kinds of videos and speculation. If you dug this, I would appreciate a subscription. You just press that little subscribe button. You click the bell. This is, of course, one of many videos to come in our series, Journey to Mortal Kombat 11. We're going to be breaking down character lore, history, all kinds of stuff. But we also have other videos like reviews and shit like that. All kinds of stuff with gaming. And if you are just bonkers in love with it, check us out on patreon.com/R24, where you can support the channel and my deep, sexy voice. And sometimes I'm on camera. Sometimes we have podcasts. Sometimes we're fucking in your bedroom watching you sleep. Anyways, guys, I am Adam Ronan. This is everything that you need to know so far about Mortal Kombat 11. Goodbye.